G'day and welcome. Thank you for joining us. If you're feeling generous today, please do us a huge favor and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've set ourselves a little goal of 2021. We'd love to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We cannot do this without you guys, so please share with family and friends that you think might enjoy our adventures. We'd really appreciate the support. Thank you. All right, to the topic of today's video, the food that we eat as full-time overlanders. We're definitely conscious of our own health and fitness, and we do try to maintain a relatively good level of this while we travel full-time. In saying that, we are by no means health fanatics. In fact, I would say we're far from it. I reckon Steffi is a little bit stricter than me, but we can tell you we both very much like to enjoy our food. For us, and I'm sure the majority of people who love to travel, sampling the local delicacies in foreign countries can be an integral part of the trip. Sometimes even the highlight of the journey. We learned a long time ago that trying to stick to any sort of extremely strict dietary regime whilst on an international overland trip can be very difficult, almost impossible. Before we left France, I was following a keto diet. Still, to this day, the best diet that I've ever experimented with. Steffi at that time was following a plant-based diet. These two diets especially were going to be very difficult to maintain as we traveled overland through the countries we planned to go. So what do we eat? To be honest with you, just about anything. Nowadays, we don't follow any sort of dietary guidelines, but we always try to have a whole heap of fruit and veggies in the fridge. Steffi eats very limited meat, but I will always get a couple of servings at each supermarket visit. We actually found that we ate much healthier in Central Asia than what we have since arriving in Japan and Korea. In remote areas of Central Asia, we were shopping at street markets with very limited selection of food, only the basics. We then arrived in Japan with access to large supermarkets and every product available. Not to mention some of the coolest convenience stores in the world on just about every street corner. This led to us getting a little bit carried away. I got in the bad habit after we first arrived of feeling the need to try just about every snack that 7-Eleven had to offer. Not to mention the Michi-no-eki roadside stations in Japan have some of the best soft serve ice cream in the world. I was gaining weight fast and soon realized that the snacking had to stop. Eating well, but only at meal times is what we try to stick to now. Vegetarians and vegans on an international overland trip? Good luck. Now look, I think it is definitely possible to maintain both of these dietary choices whilst living on the road. Sometimes it would just be very difficult. Sticking to a particular diet can get tested in social situations. You could very well end up in the predicament of risking to offend somebody by not accepting the offered food or drink. When you're invited to a traditional Kazakh barbecue and told you're the guests of honor, then served up a slow-boiled sheep's head and told that this is the traditional offering, what do? You eat the bloody sheep's head, that's what you do. You've been given the unique opportunity to dine with the Kyrgyz nomadic people deep in the mountains of Kyrgyzstan. You're invited into their yurt and offered a cup of fermented horse milk poured to you straight out of the carcass of a goat. What do? You drink the fermented horse milk. Believe me, when you are in a situation like this, no matter what you're offered, you will definitely feel obligated or pressure to try this particular offering. Alcohol. These days, as opposed to our younger days, we drink very little alcohol. We usually do always have a bottle of wine in the camper, and this will last us a couple of weeks. We might have a glass here or there with a good meal. Please remember that in some countries or cultures, alcohol is taboo or even forbidden. Of course, there are going to be times where you're offered alcohol in social situations where it would be awkward to say no. In saying that, I do think there's less chance of offending someone by declining an alcoholic drink as opposed to declining food or drink that they've prepared themselves. Now, these experiences can be fun, but please do always remain aware of your surroundings and remember you're in a foreign country. Enjoy yourself, but always know when to stop if things do get uncomfortable or awkward. We had an interesting night a few years ago in a remote Kyrgyz village with some locals. The night was going very well until one of our host's mates had one too many vodkas and decided he wanted to challenge me to a wrestling match. Not so many years ago, there's no doubt I would have obliged him. A little older and arguably wiser these days, I knew that wasn't a good idea. Things would most definitely have gotten out of hand. Now, we travel for many reasons, getting out of our comfort zone being one of them. This most definitely applies to food as well as environment. I absolutely believe that restricting yourself to certain types of foods or following a strict diet on a journey like ours would definitely impact your experiences. I don't remember every single bowl of rice that I ate whilst we were in Japan, but I will never forget the first time I tried real sushi with our mate Gak and the 9 Connection crew in Hokkaido. I don't remember all the food and drink that I ate in Central Asia, but I'll always remember the night I drank camel's milk with a family in a remote village in Western Kazakhstan. In saying all of that, I'm definitely not encouraging you to take any risks. If you truly believe that eating the offered food could make you sick, or that you're just far too uncomfortable to eat that food, we'll share a little method, a little trick that we discovered over the years that can help you avoid feeling uncomfortable in these situations. Learn the word for allergy in the language of the country you're in. Steffi doesn't eat dairy, so we learned the Russian word for allergic whilst we were traveling in Central Asia. This little white lie helped her avoid drinking all of the fermented milk we were constantly offered without giving offense. If you're planning a trip like what we're doing and you really do want to watch what you eat, then carrying food supplements and vitamins could be something to think about. Do not forget the good old Imodium as well. Although I'm all for being adventurous in what you eat, this is not always without repercussions at the downstream end. If you are a bit of a foodie or interested to see what we do eat on this trip, then get yourself on Instagram and check out Steffi's beautiful personal account. You can follow our entire journey in food through the photos and descriptions on Steffi's account. I'm gonna finish up this video by saying, one life, live it. Whether you're on a long-term journey or a short vacation, the food and drink you experience is all part of the adventure. Watch what you eat if you want to, but please don't limit yourself too much. Be adventurous, get out of your comfort zone. Eat and drink something that you never thought you'd try. You'll either love it or hate it, but I promise you, you'll remember it. That's it for today. Cheers and catch you later.